Hello everyone. Welcome back to Learning Science Q&A. Students, this is our part 3 lecture for the chapter Structure of Atom and Molecule. These are chapters from the class 9 NCERT, chapter number 4 and 3. During our last lecture, we see about the isotopes. Isotopes are those elements which have same atomic number but they have variable mass number. Now we are starting today's lecture with the application of some of the isotopes. Isotopes have been used variously in the medical field. Like cobalt 60 is used in the radiation therapy to prevent cancerous growth. Iodine 131 is used to locate brain tumors, to monitor cardiac activity and thyroid activity. Carbon 14, apart from the carbon dating techniques, is used in the metabolic changes for patient with diabetes, gout and anemia. Carbon 11 is tagged onto glucose to monitor organs during a PET scan. PET scan is an imaging technique which refers to the positron emission tomography. Sodium 24 is used in the study of blood circulation. Thallium 201 determines damage in the heart tissue and also in the detection of tumors. Technetium 99M, it locates brain tumor, it locates damaged heart cell and also used as a radio tracer in the medical diagnostics. So these are some of the isotopes along with their application in the medicine. Before we move forward, let's see some of the facts about the subatomic particle. Like who discovered neutron, proton, electron, and nucleus along with their year of discovery? What are their masses? Individual mass of proton, electron, and neutron, neutral or positive or negative charge if present on them, that means their nature of the charge present on each individual particle, along with some other detail like how they were discovered. You can also go through this table for further detail. Now, as we are about to discuss about the periodic table. Now, students, the periodic table has the element that are based on their function of the atomic number. That means our periodic table classifies or arranges the elements based on their atomic number, not the atomic mass. Because the earlier periodic table given by Mendeleev was based on the atomic mass, though it was not that accepted. Also, we are going to study about these periodic table in our higher classes. So, we'll take a small overview about the periodic table. When we move across the periodic table, that means when we are moving left to right horizontally in a periodic table, we are moving across the period. Total periods are 7 in number. We'll be looking to them in detail with the help of a periodic table also. So, periods are total 7 in number, and as we move across the period, the number of electron increases consecutively. That means one by one it increases through the period. It also increases the valency of the element from 1 up to 4, and then it decreases to 0 upon the attainment of the octet configuration. Also, the atomic size decreases as we move left to right. Now, what is the reason behind it? Because when we are moving in the period, the electrons are getting added in the same shell, like 1, then 2, 3, 4, and so on. So these electrons are getting added in the same shell, which gradually increases the attraction between nucleus and the outermost shell, resulting in the decrease of the atomic size when moving across the period. Now let's see what happens when we go down the group. Going from top to bottom or vertically down the group is groups in the periodic table. Groups are total 18 in number, and as we are going down the group, an extra shell is added. Suppose we are talking about the first group, then we are having one shell. In second, then we are having two shell, then third shell, and then fourth shell, because the outermost electron, the number of outermost electron is not changing. It is the same. If you are having one electron in the outermost shell, so the number will be same, but extra shell will be added as we go down the group, and this will increase the atomic radius, you can see. This will increase the atomic size, and hence least attraction will be faced or experienced by the outermost electron. So this is how period and group affects the atomic size and also the addition or removal of the electron. Now let's understand this with the help of a periodic table. This is our periodic table. As we discussed, we have 7 periods: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Then we have lanthanide and actinides. Again, we have 18 groups: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and till 18th we are here. Now, these groups and periods are having their specific property as we discussed in the previous slide. Now, just see these one more time with the help of this periodic table. Suppose we are talking about the second group. We know that outermost electrons are 2 in this case. That means the number of electron present in the outermost shell are 2. So every time we are moving from top to bottom, there will be an increase in the number of shell, though the outermost electron will be same in number, like this, right? And the atomic size will increase as we will move from top to down. While moving across the group, what will happen? When we are moving across the period, what will happen? The electrons will be added in the same shell. That will increase the attraction between the nucleus and the electron. Also, if we talk about the valency, then valency also increases, because what we have studied till now, valency is the number of electrons which are present in the outermost shell. So we have plus 1 valency for first group, plus 2 for this. These are transition elements because their valency keep on changing. They can show multiple valency. Like for iron, we have valency 2 and 3. For copper, again we have valency 1 and 2. You may have seen many times copper 1 oxide and copper 2 oxide. Similarly, manganese also show multiple valency. So these are known as the transition metals or transition elements. Now, here also we have 3 electrons in the outermost shell, easy to lose. So they will be forming positive ion by losing electrons. When we are going to this fourth group, what we see, we have 4 electron in the outermost shell. difficult to lose, difficult to gain, because there will be rarely any element or in the periodic table who will be able to lose 4 electron very easily. So they will mostly go for the sharing of electrons. So their compound will be mostly the covalent compound. Coming to the nitrogen, we have again 7, sorry, 5 electron in the outermost shell. They can take 3 electron. So they will form 3 negative ion. Their valency will be minus 3 in most of the case. Then we have 6 electron in the outermost shell. They will be easily taking 2 electron. Then we have halogen with 7 electrons in the outermost shell. They will easily take 1 electron and form minus 1 ion. Coming to the 18th group, they will be having complete configuration or a full octet except for the helium. So they will be all inert, or the, you can say, least reactive elements. We have accumulated atomic number and atomic electronic configuration up to elements 30. Now let's see it one more time with the help of this table. Hydrogen having only one atom, one electron in the outermost shell, the electronic configuration is 1. As we are moving down, we are having helium, one more electron added, electronic configuration doublet is achieved. As we are moving ahead, we have lithium with 2 1. Again, lithium is the another member from group 1 having 1 electron in the outermost shell. So this is how electrons keep on adding, and as we are moving down the group, the number of shell increases, like hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium. They are from the same group having 1 electron in the outermost shell. Also, the number of shell increases as we are going down the group. Though when we are moving across, the number of electron is getting added in the same shell. Like after sodium, atomic number 11, we have 1 electron added in the same shell. So this will increase the force of atom, their subatomic particles and their property. Dalton gave a theory in 1804 which is popularly known as Dalton atomic theory and is true till date. Now, what are the postulates of the Dalton atomic theory? It says all matter, whether it's an element, compound, or a mixture, are made up of very tiny particles called atoms. And these atoms are participating in the chemical reaction. These atoms are indivisible particles and they cannot be created or destroyed during the course of a chemical reaction. Also, elements having atoms in them are identical in all sense in physical and chemical properties. That means atom present in a given element will be identical to each other. All atoms present in, suppose, iron will be of same kind. Alternatively, atoms of different element will be different in terms of physical and chemical properties. Atoms of iron and copper will be entirely different. During combining, during combining to form compound, these atoms will be combining in a fixed ratio of small number. The relative number and the kind of atoms that are combining to form a given compound will be constant. Now, these postulates are correlated with two of the laws like Now, these postulates can be correlated with two of the laws, like law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Now, the law of conservation of mass says that atoms are taking part in the chemical reaction and they cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. And this can be proved by looking into the number of atoms present at the reactant site and number of atoms which are present at the product site. The law of constant proportion says that whenever some atoms are combining to form a compound, the ratio in which they will be combining will be always fixed and constant. So, in order to form a given compound, say for an example, water, whenever water is to be formed, the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen must be standard and constant. So, we will be starting with these two laws in our next lecture. Please follow for the next lecture. Thank you.